Okay, so meantime, tens of thousands remain evacuated in the Hughes Fire area, and a lot of schools there are closed.
Gigi Gracia joining us live from an RV park in Castaic that came dangerously close to those flames. Gigi, good morning.
Melvin and Jen, it sure did. Worth mentioning, Stu Mundell said it, but we're going to mention it one more time. All night flying, water dropping helicopters have been called off the Hughes Fire for now, which is a great sign. Now, as you mentioned, I'm in front of the RV park. We're talking about the Castaic Lake RV park here on Ridge Route. This is not far from the Parker Road exit off of the 5 freeway. And yesterday, this is one of the many places the Hughes Fire was threatening. Take a look at the video. Our Haley Winslow was embedded with an inmate camp crew, cutting fire line and setting backfires to divert the fire away from the RV park, which thankfully was spared. As of yesterday, there were no reports of any structures damaged or destroyed. We are awaiting, though, the morning update, but we think that will remain in effect. Those camp crews, the firefighters, the aerial assault on the lake, on the Hughes Fire was just amazing and really did the job, with more than 4,000 firefighting personnel assigned to this area. Now take a look at this, because this morning throughout the evacuated areas here in Castaic, there are private firefighters stationed on different blocks. They're also doing patrols. They've been contracted by insurance companies to protect insured homes at a cost of thousands of dollars a day. It is much cheaper for an insurance company to hire them than to try to replace a lost home and all of the contents. Thankfully, again, no structures that we know of have been lost or damaged. Now, this picture, a friend of mine was rushing back. She was on her way to work when the fire broke out. Her neighborhood was under an evacuation warning. This is the 5 North, just before Parker Road. You can see that plume of smoke she was driving straight into to get home and get her pets out. Thankfully, she did make it home, was able to evacuate safely with her pets and some important papers. This was one of the many reasons the 5 North was shut down for hours. That left hundreds, if not thousands, of people unable to get home when their North Lake neighborhood went into a mandatory evacuation order. No one but first responders were allowed in. Since the fire broke out just after 10:30 in the morning, many of the folks were gone for the day. Kids were in school. They would later have to be evacuated. Adults were at work or out running errands. So you can only imagine how stressful it was for some folks. Now, we are awaiting the morning briefing. That's when we'll learn more about what the fire did overnight and if any of the mandatory evacuation orders, like the ones for the North Lake neighborhood near Castaic Lake and the Lower Lake, also known as Castaic Lagoon, will be lifted. Of course, we'll bring that to you as soon as it starts. Reporting live this morning in Castaic on Ridge Route, I'm Gigi Gracia. Back to you.
Yeah, Gigi, one thing I noticed yesterday while we were doing live coverage, I think people are within reason traumatized by what happened in the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire, watching people's homes go up. So you had a lot of people who I saw did not obey those evacuation orders, and they stuck around. And even there was one gentleman who said, I'm not going to leave until I see flames knocking at my door. Obviously not advised.
Right. We do know of several neighborhoods, one in particular here off of Ridge Route, where people got families out. They got the wives, the moms, the kids, the pets, the senior citizens. They got them all out. But several homeowners, at least on one block, chose to stay behind. They actually banded together, almost in a bucket brigade type of situation, but with garden hoses. They were watering down their roofs, their lawns. Sprinklers were turned on the entire cul-de-sac, and they were also watering down the homes of the folks who had completely evacuated or were unable to get home. People there have keys to each other's houses. They were on alert if they had to rescue somebody's pets. It was really a show of force of neighbors coming together. But those neighbors, once they got their families out, the kids, those that required some extra time, they chose to stay behind.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Thank you, Gigi. Appreciate it.